Hello and welcome. This is Mousegunner, and we're back with some more The Long Journey Home. So we just encountered an alien race, and they gave us an objective, and that objective is to find their squire and teach him a lesson. He's been a little uppity, and we gotta spank him around a little bit. Let's go ahead and leave our encounter, and we'll show back up on the navigation map. More than likely heading in the same direction we were before we had that encounter. I may have to think fast here and alter my direction. Update the duty roster. I'll take first shift. You guys get some sleep. So it looks like we're going right towards where we need to go, which is towards the starport, where we have two objectives. I may need to alter my trajectory a little bit here, as we're being pulled in by the star's gravitational field. A little bit more may do. Alright, so what we need to do is encounter this guy. Now, we've got a more or less fully repaired ship. Now, we don't have any weapon systems, though, so this may be a tough fight for us, but I'm hoping they haven't thrown us under the bus and given us a really hard mission right off the bat. But, you know, to be honest with you, I don't think this game cares. It will give you hard missions right out the gate. It's up to you to decide on whether or not the mission is something that you can tackle. But I think it was something that was worth saying that we would do. And if this guy is too much of a problem, we can't run. May need to slow down here. We'll try and enter orbit. Is this another star? I thought there was at least one planet. Oh, this is probably the line of the starport. Let's go to the starport. Starports are a lot easier to interact with because you don't really need to orbit them. You just need to intersect them like this. And once you intersect them, you're just going to go ahead and move in and land. Oh, the squire might be coming right for us, but that's okay. We came into the starport first. Okay, let's hail. Okay, metal mining, Wolfax. Hail! Docking permission is granted to all sentients of honor. Okay, just wanted to be polite there and ask our permission. And here's the station. We need to find the docking port, which is going to always be this kind of gold glowing area. Now, you can just go right into the spaceport if you want, but I figure let's be polite. Now, your interactions with aliens, you're going to have to be a little bit mindful of treating them and how you treat them. First off, you can insult them and do things like that. Probably not a good thing to do with this particular race, as they seem to be honor-bound, and insulting them may be a problem. On the other hand, there might be races that like insults, and this might even be one of them. Hail! Welcome to this mining outpost. Only the highest quality goods. By my honor as a squire of the yellow. Alright, so we can ask him things, we can talk to him about things, we can show him the keystone if we want. Now, this has risks, perhaps, and I have kind of found that out in the stream that I did. We can praise them, we can insult them, we can ask for services. We'll go over the services now. So merchant is where you can sell things. Usually speaking, the merchant is going to say, hey, this is something I'm interested in, this is how much I will pay you for it. Credits is the currency. Currently we have none because we're new to this galaxy. He will pay me 400 credits if I give him my med kit, this thing, and these things. Now, one thing I probably should take a look at, and I keep forgetting to do, let's just go ahead and clear this offer and leave, is I do need to identify that item. So we should probably take a look at that. As a matter of fact, I can take a look at that now. Let's go to our lab and see what these people have to say. Ready at my station if you need me. Busy piloting the ship at the moment. Monitoring damage and resource stations. Scanning local area, prepare for updates. Alright, so none of them really had anything that they wanted to do with that item. So we don't really know what it does, and nobody has the expertise to find out, unfortunately. And some of that might have been a consequence of not taking a scientist, or it just could be the consequence that we don't have yet the means to find out what it does. We can restock. This is going to be refueling our ship, more or less. It's always going to be the same flat cost, regardless of how much fuel you have. And we can't afford any of that because we don't have anything. Repairs, same thing. Same flat cost, regardless of your actual damage. And you can also repair anything that is a system damage. So our lander has some problems with its probe. We could fix that. Shipyard is where you're going to have different upgrades. So we have impact damper. This is going to be for the lander. And this is going to protect the lander from and pilot from sudden impacts. Sounds pretty good. Shock absorber helps protect lander during earthquakes. Magnetic smelter increases conversion rate of metals. So that's going to be for our main ship. And we see those prices. So if I wanted to sell stuff, I could with the merchant. And I could sell some of the resources that we got, for instance. Let's go ahead and just ask some things now. I don't think that we really need any services right this second. I think probably be a good idea to do our mission, see if we get any rewards from that, and then decide on what we want to do after that. So let's go ahead and talk to them about themselves. I'm a squire of the Yellow. We maintain order upon our worlds and ensure the lazy serfs work hard to fuel the great Wolfax Empire. Now, one thing I'll point out, something that somebody in the stream that had more experience than I did pointed out to me, is sometimes your translator, the item that you got, which is more or less, you know, translating your language to something they can understand and translating their language into something you can understand, it may have errors. So they may misunderstand what you're saying, and you may misunderstand what they're saying. So you may be not getting full truths through that translator. It's like using Google Translate. You may get the gist of it. On the other hand, you might get way off where the actual intention of what was being said is. We'll ask them about work. Denial activity. Perhaps the serfs on our worlds may have some tasks. We knights have higher priorities. And sometimes with the work, you're asking them about work. They might think that you're asking them, do you have work? Or they might think you're asking, hey, what is your job? What do you do? And that's part of the confusion of the translator. The way that they answer you might not be what you're really looking for. So we can ask him about home, but he might think I'm asking about his home or my home. Metal mining, I'm sorry, that's the place. A true knight's home is his starship. Planets are for children and serfs. So that time he clearly understood what I wanted. Now you don't want to talk these guys' ears off because, you know, he has a job. I'm keeping him from that job by talking to him. So I don't want to keep him too long, so we'll just, you know, do what business we were here to do and leave. It kind of gives you an idea of how interacting with aliens work. And it is a big part of this game. Learning how the aliens behave. What do they expect from you? That kind of stuff. All right. Let's go ahead and jump here. And I think we're going to get an encounter with that squire pretty soon here. So let's prepare for that. We are going to enter combat. I don't know what our chances of actually winning are. If it looks bad, I will run. One thing I will point out is you cannot run when you have your shields up. You have to take that down. All right, we're going to answer his call. Alien ship, by the authority of the Wolfax Knights, I shall destroy you. Beg your gods for the mercy I shall not show you. So he is a little bit of a dishonorable punk. He does have his weapons online. Oh. Took a little bit of damage there. Where do you go? I accidentally took down my shields there for a second when I meant to fire at him. My bad. Where did he go? Did he flee? Hello? I'm not exactly sure where he is. Let's just go ahead and leave. Because it doesn't look like he's giving us any resistance here. Or did he just run? Let's try and encounter him again. I wonder if that was some kind of weird glitch. Alright, we should be able to encounter him fairly easily. Oh. I had the encounter and I screwed it up and I'm burning fuel doing this. Alright. Let's slow way down. All right, you know what? I'm approaching this all the wrong way. He likes to orbit the same kind of areas. And he's in orbit now. Now I'm showing you what happens when you collide with a planet. Alright, let's just enter orbit here. Burning through a lot of our fuel. We'll wait for him to come back. Then we'll leave and we'll encounter him. My bad. Alright, here he looks like he's coming. Leave. We should be encountering him soon. There we go. Alright, this time we're ready for you. Let's immediately put up our shields. This guy just likes to run, huh? Okay. Likes to ram us, too. Let's keep our shield facing him. Ah, I missed him there. Okay, we're taking heavy damage. This may not be an encounter we can win. We are smacking him, though. Okay, probably a good idea to run. You know what? I'll keep fighting here. Just a little bit longer. Okay, maybe not. Let's go. I don't think we can handle this. This is a mistake. Hopefully we can get away. And this is kind of an example of the learning curve. We were given a mission very early on, and it is not a mission that we could really easily handle. Yeah, I put up a fight, and maybe I could have landed more of the shots, but it's quite clear there's no way that I'm going to successfully do this mission. Now, we're going to need to repair ourselves, unfortunately. Now, I could sell resources and repair myself this way, that way, or I can use the resources we already have to repair. I think I want to use this to get rid of some of the ship system damage. So let's take a look at that. We only have one defect that's going to affect our autopilot. Something I mentioned that could happen. Let's just use what we mined here. So I knew that was a possibility when I took that mission, that it would be something that we couldn't complete. So I kept that in mind. I knew that there was a possibility we'd take a lot of damage, which we indeed did. Probably a way more than I should have, and that has really jeopardized this run. But we're going to go ahead and go forward. It's pretty clear that we can't do this Squire mission. Let's just go ahead and go into orbit here. Take a look at what resources we can get here. So we've got iron and platinum. This is going to be allow us to repair our ship nicely, but it is deadly. So we've got in temperature, inferno, and heavy earthquake. So not really somewhere that I think I could probably easily land on. So I think instead we just jump out, as there should not be anything else in the system for us to do. That is unfortunate that the first encounter we have, and we get an objective, a mission to do, and it's not one that we can easily do with our ship. I was kind of hoping if we went to that spaceport, we'd get some means to defend ourselves better or get better weapons than our mining laser, but unfortunately, that's all we've got, and it was not enough to take that guy out. Okay, with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump out of here. That sucks, but just the way things are. So let's open our galaxy map and see what we can do. And again, I'm not overly surprised that that was a mission we couldn't handle. And that's one part of this game, and that was one thing that they said, is don't expect this game to throw softballs at you. You're going to have to evaluate the difficulty of a mission based off of the face value of it. I suspected that it was a mission that possibly we couldn't handle, but I went ahead with it anyway. We also know of a location of a gate over here, probably a location that we can go towards. Let's go ahead and jump into... I'm looking for resources specifically. I would like to get some metal, if I can. But also, we're going to need other resources. This system might be good. I have to keep in mind that there's 2 stars, so that might make things complicated. But there's a lot of smaller planetary bodies that I think we can take advantage of. So we're going to go ahead and jump over there to Alioth. And all we're going to need to do is leave orbit and make that jump. Now, I'm good on resources outside of that one system that we just left. Unfortunately, that Squire, we're not going to be able to teach a lesson to. If only we were a dragon. And not just a stranded research vessel. Okay. So, I think we already decided we're going over here. It doesn't get us closer to the gate. The gate's going to be how we go to a different nebula, but there might be a possible different gate. We might encounter other alien races in this nebula. Okay, we do see another ship. Green's going to indicate friendlies. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at our alien database. So, right now, Wolfax kind of views us as neutral. And our relationship with them is errants, whatever that means. It means more to them than it probably means to me. Alright, so we're just going to use this to slingshot us. We do have that ship coming towards us. I don't know if it's actually trying to intercept with us. I don't think the body... Oh, yeah. Knight Shirak. Is that the same knight? Alright, we'll see what he has to say. Oh, we got 130 credits. I'd hoped you would puncture my young squire's confidence, not further boost it. Sigh. Still, your attempt was appreciated. I will find a less subtle solution, a small reward for your time. Well, I mean, it's nice that he rewarded me. I did take pretty heavy damage there. Maybe I should have run earlier than I did when it was clear we were outmatched. Let's talk to him a little bit. About, because he didn't allow us to talk to him before, about himself. I'm a knight of the blue. I train our squires and gallants in the arts of combat and the wisdom to use these teachings for the good of the galaxy. So the one guy was a knight of the yellow, he's a knight of the blue. So obviously there's differences. Let's ask him for work. I fear I have nothing else for you. Perhaps our star bases will have something. Okay, let's I don't know how he's going to react to this. Let's show him the keystone. I've never seen anything like it. Like lightning trapped in a bottle. What a find. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and leave him. Fare thee well. Okay, well, that's nice that we still got a reward from the guy. It probably would have been better if we had actually completed the mission. But I think it was clear that that was a mission that we couldn't really handle. Alright, let's get out of that. Now, you might see the red circle there. That is an area you could suck up exotic material if you so desire. I'm going to assume that that planet is just going to be beyond our ability. And we'll go over to one of these smaller bodies. I do see a large body over to the top right. Our secondary star. I am probably going to need to slow down once we get close to this body. There is somebody in orbit. We're going to start slowing down here. Wolfex guns are surprisingly unoptimized. I suspect they can't put this down to their combat focus being duels rather than warfare. Okay, so she has some opinions about that particular alien race. And it looks like we're going to end up right smack into the planet, which we don't really want to have happen. So let's try and get a little bit better orbit going. See if our autopilot can address that. We are affecting having inefficiencies affecting us, so we do have to keep that in mind. I'm going to cut some of the speed here. Maybe we can get the autopilot a little bit more locked in. This is a small orbit. Okay, we were in there long enough. So unfortunately, that damage we took is really affecting us. All right, so this is harmless, very low gravity, so this should be fairly easy to go down and do a mission on. There are some earthquakes, though, so I have to keep that in mind. And everything else seems to be fairly easy to handle, so we're going to have some silicates on the ground. I don't remember. What do we have in our current cargo? No silicates. That is a common material, so we could use it to refuel our jump drive. Let's go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, we're in orbit. Why not? Let's go ahead and skip that. We don't need to see the cutscene every single time. Okay, now very low gravity. We should be able to kill our vertical momentum very quickly. And I'm going to allow our horizontal momentum to continue. So there's the earthquake, so we're going to have to be careful with that. We're just going to float here like a leaf in the wind. As a matter of fact, on low gravity planets, you actually sometimes have a hard time getting your craft to go down the way you want it to. Actually, we do need a little bit more. Yeah, right now I'm just almost maintaining. Okay, cancel it out a little bit. Give ourselves some downward thrust. Okay, start getting some upward thrust so we don't smack into the ground. Granted, on a low gravity planet, we're not going to smack quite so hard. Let's wait until the earthquake subsides. And then come on down. We're not quite on target. Might wait until another earthquake strikes. Like right then. Alright, now is a good time to land. Let's start mining. Let's just anchor ourselves down because it looked like there was a little bit of hopping going on. Okay, that's probably good enough. Let's just launch. And very easy flight with a very low gravity. You just go right on up into orbit. Alright, so we easily get some silicates there without really risking any damage to our lander. Considering how beat up our ship is, we're going to need to preserve our lander. Okay, let us take a look at the map, because I do want to encounter this. Ouch, broken bloody devices sparking off left and right. Alright. So our current objective, we will make it, we will survive. We'll see about that. I'm doing a good job of trying to make that that's not necessarily true. Let's go ahead and use our silicates, the thing that we just gained, and refuel some of our exotic matter. We can top that off with our carbonates if we want, but we don't really need to. All right, so that ship is just orbiting around here and there. So let's just ignore it for now. If we encounter it, we encounter it. I think we start ourselves on a course to go to the other planetary body. I'm going to try and preserve my fuel because I do not know. Yeah, I do have hydrogen still, so that's fine. Now, this should be a planetary body in the middle. Might be a large one that has too strong of a gravity for us, but might still be worth taking a look at. All right, currently I think we're probably going to smack into it, so let's get some thrust going that way. And this might be enough to get a orbit on it. All right, we did. So deadly because of extremely high gravity. I'm not really surprised with that. It's also very hot, which is a big reason why it's deadly. But with very high gravity, we'll probably just go smack right into the ground. So not a good idea. So let's go back on the map. Again, I'm keeping an eye on that craft that's circling around so that we can see what it is. And now's probably a good time to leave. There should be a planet very close. Oh, there he is. I could possibly slingshot around and kill my speed, kill my speed, kill my speed. Okay. He's coming. But he's going to pass over top of us, so... Our path is looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and try and slow her down. Get a little bit of upward momentum. Lower down. Okay, not quite to plan. Push her out a little bit. Push her out a little bit. Push her down that way, up that way, down that way, up that way. Now, might be good enough. Not quite. Damn. The interaction of these gravity wells is tough because we have a really strong gravity well that's pulling us really hard. Okay, I got it. So again, exotic materials here. Also, another harmless one. We don't have any hazard to speak of. There are life forms. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and land. See what we find. Might have been worth taking an archaeologist. But, I'll take a look at the planet with the test pilot for now. Yeah, so there is a landing site. That is a mission I might take care of the second go, because... I mean, an archaeologist isn't necessarily good at dealing with people, though. Although, is it going to be people? You know, it would have been cool to have an exobiologist as a choice. To me, that seems like a natural choice. We do have some winds that are pushing me around, causing this to be somewhat difficult. That's where our downward thrust is going to be useful, because it will allow me to anchor myself down. Trying not to smack into the ground here, though. Burning a lot of fuel. But need to make sure we don't do that. Fortunately, I didn't take much damage because of the low gravity. Winds are really hard to deal with at times, especially when they're strong like this. Okay, anchored in. I'm just going to keep that anchor so I don't slide off due to the wind. Go for greed. Oh, we already took the damage. Okay. So this is what happens when I don't thrust down. You see the wind just picked me right up. I wasn't doing anything. The wind just carried me. Alright. Let's get out of here. We kind of already decided that we're going to go back with our archaeologist. I've decided in my mind archaeologist is going to be any missions that are not just going down and mining. Our test pilot is going to be mining. So that's kind of how I've decided to do things in my head. Anything that's has to do with interactions with any particular obvious races, I'll leave that to our corporate manager. So we did pick up some more carbonates. Because we already had carbonates, that filled out what slot we had, and then it filled up a new row. So I'm going to use one of those to fuel us up a little bit, and then I'll probably use the next row of carbonates to fuel up our EM tank fully. Now, we are having a problem with fuel itself. I don't believe we've uncovered anything that's going to fuel us up. So, fuel is going to be a desperate need. Now, I do have hydrogen in my hold, but the problem with hydrogen is it doesn't fuel you up that much for how much you get. Oh. This repairs the lander? I do not know. Perhaps spare parts that might be useful? Can't say I understand this, but I can break it down for parts. So repair lander or repair devices? Well, we have more damage to the... That's where it comes in. That's our crew right there. So our crew is giving us the option. Do we repair our ship or do we repair the lander? Right now... Fuel usage and planetary gas absorption. I think the autopilot's probably more important of a system. Let's see what happens when we use this. That seems pretty cool. Let's do that. So I don't know, perhaps spare parts that might be useful. So we'll repair devices. Managed to repair the following device. Lander probe. Oh, well, it ended up working for our lander anyway. Well, that's cool. So our lander's working at peak efficiency. Some things will break just due to wear and tear over time. So this we lost in ship combat. Other things will lose just, wear and tear, and we'll have to repair them. All right, well, in any case, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.